From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spar on the radio.
Hello to Amie Lou Shaw. How are you today?
Hiya, thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you for letting me interview today. Can you tell me how long you've been a songwriter for?
I have been writing songs since I was probably, I would say, about 14 or so. I used to find that ideas would just come to me when I was out running a lot. That was probably like the first time that I really kind of experienced a sense of like, I've got to write, you know. I would kind of like get home and I'd be like, you know, I really need a piece of paper. I really need to, you know, just write down these ideas. And, you know, thankfully, you know, I had very supportive parents that sort of said to me, like, you know, I'll get you some kind of recording software that you can use. So of course had I think what was it originally, before Logic Pro, you had various different music programs and stuff that I used to use. So yeah, and then what I would do, I'd just kind of like record, say, myself singing a part, or you know, kind of just write down my lyric ideas and things like that. I do remember years ago as well, it was a friend of my dad's, and he came over with the guitar, and he was like, you know, so you're writing songs. And I was only like, I don't know, must be about 15 or something. And I was like, yeah, I've been writing these songs. And he was like, well, let's have a jam. Let's try some ideas out and things like that. And so I tried some ideas out, and yeah, it came out really well. You know, I'd already been kind of singing these ideas sort of, you know, to myself, and I thought, you know, what am I ever going to do with these? Had no idea how you go about recording in a recording studio or any of that back then. I had absolutely no idea. And I remember kind of contacting some recording studios as well when I was a bit older. And I just kind of thought, you know, I just wanted to know more about the process of it, really. And then as I delved into the process, there was a lot that I learned about it, and you know, and how I might kind of get my songs recorded, and you know, and that kind of thing. So it's been a process for sure. You know, there's been a lot of things that I've looked at over the course of time that have kind of developed my songwriting. But yeah, I started off with songwriting pretty young, really. And you know, even if you write a song whilst you're running, or you know, whilst you're going about your day, you know, as long as you've at the time, of course, everyone was saying as long as you've got a dictaphone, then you know, you can use that to record. And so I did actually have one of those. I'm showing my age now. But I did have one of those with a little mini cassette. And yeah, I remember kind of running out of cassette tape and thinking, no, I need a new cassette, sort of thing, you know, like those little mini cassettes. And so that was how I started out. And then, of course, you know, I had my phone and I started recording ideas on that as well later on, and things, my mobile, which was great. So it's just there, you can record straight away. But of course you have to be careful, because of course you never quite know who's around either. So you think, okay, you know, singing to yourself, you know, isn't always the best thing to do whilst other people are there.
So what was it like for an opening act for Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston?
Oh no, I wasn't the opening act for Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. But I will tell you the story of who was the opening act, and that was a chap called Simon, who I know really well, and he's a fantastic songwriter, and he's written a song that I've recorded before as well. he's a fantastic dancer as well. So yeah, but yeah, he did Simon Bailey. He's opened for he has actually opened for Whitney Houston's final concert, which was a really big thing to be doing. So majorly exciting for him. So yeah, very lucky to have a great collaborator there as well. And I've got a lot of collaborators that sort of work with some pretty big acts, really. I've got some collaborators out in America as well, who one of which is working with one of the producers at Big Machine Records. So yeah, it's always, you always kind of want to be working with people that kind of working with some fairly sort of big names and things like that, because it really develops your songwriting ability and things like that. If they're writing for artists as well, that are sort of within the genres that you want to be working in, then they're great people to work with, because you're going to be able to bounce ideas off of them. And even if they're not available for a project at that time, you always know that you can chat things through with them. So I'm always kind of open to chatting to my collaborators, and at any time, really, because we're all kind of working together. Like I said to you before, I think a lot of this is about community. So that's my way of looking at it anyway.
Was one of your tracks played on Hollyoaks?
It was, yeah. I had my song called Traveling played on Hollyoaks. So that was a couple of years back now, but that was really exciting. It was bizarre, because I I got the statement through from PRS, and and it had said the track had been used on Hollyoaks. I had put it forward to Notting Hill Music Publishing, and spoken to John Saunderson, and he very kindly kind of put it through to the sync licensing people for me. So yeah, that was absolutely amazing experience for me. And it's just bizarre, because you hear yourself singing in the background of this scene in this this TV series that's like really popular, and you've been watching all your life as a kid, kind of thing. And then suddenly, like, you hear your own song playing on it. It's really quite an amazing moment, actually. Yeah.
Can you tell me what kind of competition that you won?
Yeah, so I won a competition with Juice Management and Promotions, and basically my song "Simple Things" was put forward for that, or I put that forward, and Tat Tong sort of heard it, who's the producer of the track, and he really liked the idea of it. I think he liked the idea of sort of simple things, and just the fact that simplicity in life is the most important thing. I think that really kind of resonated with him. And so, he just said, look, I really want to work with this track. So it was absolutely amazing to work with someone like that, of that caliber. I mean, yeah, he's gone I think he's like 80 times platinum now. He's and he's also A&R, like head of A&R for Sony in China now. So he's a real high flyer now. He's absolutely, I mean, he always was, when I was working with him, he was doing astoundingly. And he's just like a creative genius, really. He's when he came up with that track idea for Simple Things, and I heard it, I just got goosebumps. I was just like, wow. I could really hear that he had kind of listened to my voice and really understood kind of the way that I'd wanted to go with that track as well. And yet he'd really kind of commercialized it as well. So it kind of, it just sounded really, really commercial. Yeah, love it. Really, really loved that track. When I first heard it, I was just like, wow, it's totally blown away. And then it was mastered by a guy called Earl Holder. who is absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, he's mastered tracks for like Public Enemy, Beyonce, Tomeko Star, Candice. You know, he's really, you know, absolutely astounding mastering engineer as well. So I was really fortunate, and that was in 2010. Really fortunate to have people like that working with me, and you know, putting a track out there. It's still going out there via the radio as well. So Simple Things. It was originally, you know, written on the piano, and sounded slightly different. Yeah, I would say it sounds quite a lot different, really, to the version that you'd hear on the radio now. But I really like the difference in it. It's lifted it enormously. And what I love is the fact that I can write something really quite acoustically, and then you know, it can be kind of made into this commercial track. That's quite amazing to me.
So, can you tell me more about your 2002 album, On My Mind?
Yeah, so I wrote that a few years back now, and it's sort of I think there was about 8 tracks on there, and yeah, it's, I guess, kind of the inspiration for that, for On My Mind, was just kind of it. I kind of wanted it to be folky, but yet I kind of wanted it to be a little bit of a love song at the same time as well. So the message in the song is, you know, you'll still be on my mind, you know, no matter what you do, no matter where you go or what you do, just remember that you'll always be on my mind. You know, you could, you know, you could be kind of like, I don't know, going off and just doing various different things, and you're not like, you know, and you're not thinking that person's actually thinking about you, but they always will be, kind of thing. And so that was kind of the messaging On My Mind, you know, you'll always be on my mind. And you know, it's hard to explain it, really. But yes, so that was On My Mind. And then there's another track called Drifting as well. Drifting was written well during those 2 years that we all found, I would say 2 or 3 years, I guess, that we all found quite difficult. But the first year of it, you know, the lockdown years. Yeah, it was written during that time, and Drifting to me was just like, you know, it was the fact, I suppose it was the fact that we'd all had a lot more time to to actually do things that we really wanted to be doing. And I think we kind of realized how fast paced our life had become, a lot of us, you know, prior to those years. And so for me, Drifting was like, you know, it's okay that I'm drifting. It doesn't matter that there's not anything major going on right now, because actually it's quite nice just to have that breathing space. So yeah, it was like, I don't mind so much. I don't mind the fact that I'm drifting at the moment. It's okay, you know, kind of thing. It's quite nice. It's quite nice in some respects to be drifting. So that's what that was about. Yeah, there's some other kind of tracks in there as well. There's a Christmas track in there as well. So yeah, and it's just a very much, it's very much kind of a thoughts of the time kind of an album, you know. And I do think we all kind of go through various different phases in our way of thinking about various different things. We're all kind of growing and learning and evolving, and so yeah, it was very much of that time.
So, can you tell me where our listeners can find you on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me at, if you go to twitter.com, you've got, just follow twitter.com with Amie Lou Shaw. So yeah, AMIE LOUSHAW, Amie Lou Shaw. Yeah. And then you can also find me on TikTok as well if you look me up under that name. Facebook I'm on as well. So yeah, and if you go to my website, you've got all of the social media channels there at the very top of the page as well, and that's www.amieloushaw.com. So yeah.
Can you tell me what gigs have you got coming up?
So I've got another one on the 5th of October at the Garden Bar, which is in Hove. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to organize some other ones as well in London. So I'll have further news on that. But if you go to my website, you'll find more info on that, or you can go to Reverb Nation, www.reverbnation.com, and then Amie Lou Shaw again. Either or, the website or that, you'll find the the next dates of gigs on there as well. So, and then what I usually try and do as well is when I do a gig, I try and hand out a piece of paper that's got my next gigs on it. It's got a bit of info on me, and then you've got a QR code there as well, which has got a you can download a free track as well. So so I'd love to see you there at gigs as well. I'd love to see anyone that wants to kind of come along to a gig. Please do come along and bring your friends as well. Come and have a party. I usually try and kind of include mainly originals, really, because I'm all about originals. I think that it's important that we promote originals, really, as well as it's great to do covers, and I love covers as well, but I'm a real originals person as well. I'm all about writing new songs, having new content. So yeah, I support anyone really that does originals as well. So yeah, it's great, and I think we've kind of got to keep it going. Even things like our roots venues and things like that, we have to keep them going. We have to support them. It's really, really important for the next generation of musicians. I really think that's important.
Thank you for chatting to me today, Amie Lou Shaw. So thank you for chatting to me today.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.